We are back, bottom of the hour on Get Up. Adam Schefter, let's run the hurry up. A lot of quarterback injury news starting in San Francisco.
Brock Purdy out tonight, Greeny. Mac Jones will start for the third time this season. Purdy's dealing with turf toe still, not right on a short week, and the 49ers will be without Brock Purdy, Juwan Jennings, Ricky Pearsall, George Kittle. The list goes on, but obviously Purdy will not be able to be out there tonight. Mac Jones steps in. As for the next quarterback on our list, Jaden Daniels, back at practice in full yesterday. After missing the last 2 games, he is now set to start Sunday against the Chargers. And again, this is good news for Washington. Marcus Mariota stepped in, won one, lost one, but the doctors in Washington have cleared Daniels now, and he is expected to be out there on Sunday. And really the one big quarterback question mark, if we want to call it that right now, would be Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens wind up playing Lamar Jackson next week when they have a bye the week after.
Yeah, they play consecutive home games here, the Ravens, against Houston and then the Rams. Then they have a bye. Then they have another home game on the other side of that. Let's show you exactly what they are facing. Since the merger, teams that start 1-4, which is what they would be if they lose this week, only 4% of those make it. Shefty's suggesting they could miss the following week against the Rams. 1-5 is a nail in the coffin. Only 4 teams have made the playoffs since the merger. That's 55 years have made the playoffs since if they've started at 1-5. So the whole Lamar thing, I think, is fascinating. Dan, I've been waiting all week for you. You had a game on Monday night, so we didn't have a chance to get your perspective on their game against the Chiefs. But that's when it really came apart.
Yeah.
Like, I think people were like, oh, the Ravens will be fine. The Ravens will be fine. Then we watched that game, and we stopped thinking that. Where are we right now?
Yeah, the Ravens certainly are broken. They look nothing like they have been in the past. This is the most unprepared Ravens team I've seen in years this past game against Kansas City. Hyperbolic said this was the most talented roster in the AFC. Play like it. Play like it. I understand Lamar may not play. You still have or should have one of the best offensive lines in football. You got a really good receiving core. You got 2 really good tight ends. You got a Hall of Famer at running back. By the way, hand them the friggin' ball.
Yeah.
No team runs the ball less on first and second down to their running backs than Baltimore. Make that make sense. And defensively, play physical at some point. This was an organization, a football team that used to beat you up when you played them. You know that. It was like a fist fight. Yeah. Nowadays, I watch them like, good God.
Handle business.
Understand Lamar, get 2 wins, and then make a decision on Lamar.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. When it comes to Lamar like that, he is their entire offense. And when you're not running Derrick Henry 20 times a game, which is proven, anytime you run Derrick Henry 20-plus times a game, you come away with more wins than not. And I just think when you're this depleted from an injury standpoint, you're missing Roquan Smith, you're missing multiple guys on the defensive line. There's an uphill battle for them. And if they can't beat the Texans, they're not beating the Rams, and then the season is over.
This is a must-win. This is a must-win for the Ravens. And Derrick Henry and Zach Orr need to step up. That's defensive coordinator and the running back, because absent the Chiefs game, Lamar Jackson played really good football those first 3 games, but it's the supporting cast, it's the defense, it's all the other elements that made those turn into losses. You need Lamar to be healthy, because down the stretch, the Ravens have a very, very favorable schedule. They can turn the tide on this thing, but they got to come away with a win against the Texans, because the Rams, that's also going to be another toss-up.
In that division, with their schedule, they are far from out of it, and they have the history they do. The issue they have right now, as we look at the schedules, they could be without 7 or 8 regular defensive starters on Sunday against Houston. This defense is decimated. There's the next 4 games, though. And that bye figures in after the Rams game, before the Rams game. This is a 3-game home stretch. Honestly, they're not thinking like this, but we could say they got to find a way to win one of these next 2, get to the bye, and get healthy for the stretch run.
I think that, but that's why this one's so important. Because if you win this one, you can make a very long-term decision and going, okay, we're still not as healthy as we want to be.
Right.
We're at 2-3. Let's make sure we get healthy, and hopefully they can play well against the Rams, blah, 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 and then get into their final stretch. That being said, they got to get back to a brand and identity of football that fits their team. And for weeks now, they just haven't.
Let me throw this very quickly here. I understand that with the Ravens, just making the playoffs is not the goal. That's not satisfactory. But you have to do that before you can do anything else.
Step one, yep.
They're in a division where Cincinnati has lost their quarterback. The Browns have already made a quarterback change. Are we buying the Steelers, or are they in a division that 9 wins might wind up winning it? That, I think, could have a big impact on all of this. As you see, they are still the favorites in the division.
Well, the Steelers on the back end of their schedule have the Packers, the Colts, the Chargers, the Bills, the Lions, and the Ravens twice.
Yeah.
That is brutal.
Right.
So if the Ravens can figure this out, they absolutely will still be in the driver's
That's
seat.
what I mean. I think you might win that division with 9 wins.
I agree that it's not over for Baltimore, but they got to get healthy and they got to get right. I would tell you the Steelers were one of the 2 teams that I was very pleasantly surprised with how they played this past weekend. The 6 offensive linemen, the multiple tight ends, the way they win yards after the catch. I think it's the number 1 yards after the catch offense in the NFL right now. That's a formula for success for that football team. That's different.
So we got a ton of football. We also today have a day unlike any but one in baseball history. Let me run the bases through a wild card day yesterday in Chicago. All game between New York and Boston. We've seen classics in these spots. Aaron Boone's walk-off Game 7, 2003. The Red Sox come back in 2004. The all-time playoff record between these teams is 13-13. Including 7-7 in New York. Everything on the line, much more on all the baseball action when Buster Olney joins us in a little while. In the meantime, Week 5 in the NFL kicks off tonight. So let's get some opening statements about the weekend ahead. Dan, get us started. What are you looking forward to?
Buffalo is on upset alert versus the New England Patriots. I don't know if there's a quarterback doing more for their offense right now than Drake May. His connection to Stephon Diggs is outstanding. The way that they use their tight ends is big time. I love their 2 backs. Buffalo's defense has struggled to play man. They've struggled to play zone. They've struggled to stop the run. 2 starters out, I understand that. But this defensive unit is struggling Buffalo, and it feels like this New England offense is starting to surge.
What a statement that would be for Mike Vrabel's team. Will Compton, give me an opening statement. What are you looking forward to this weekend?
Sammy D, Sam Darnold deserves more credit as being one of the better or the best quarterbacks in the NFL.
Generational.
Generational. You look at, if you just go back since 2024, he's 17-4 as a starter, most game-winning drives tied with Patrick Mahomes. In 2024 was number 2 under pressure passer rating, only to Joey B. Over 70% completion rate of passes 10 yards or more. We can go on and on, but I love Sammy D, the way he's operating right now in Seattle. Sneaky tough.
And their defense is awfully good, too. I like it. Hawk, give me an opening statement.
Yeah, I'm surprised Will missed this one. I'm looking forward to the all-right team battle. I'm trying to say this right here. And I'm talking about 2 right cornerbacks, and Riley Moss and Cooper DeJean. They have so much in common. Both from Iowa. Both 6 foot tall. Both early in, late out guys. Coach's sons. Grinders, weight room guys.
Sneaky
right?
fast.
Sneaky
Are they
fast.
sneaky athletic?
Sneaky athletic. Multi-sport athletes. So much in common.
I like that one a lot.
Captain.
That's an all-time.
All right, with an R. Okay,
Yeah, the thing I'm looking
guys,
can I give my opening statement? The thing I'm looking forward to is Dylan Gabriel going across the pond with an elite defense and getting his first win as a start for the Cleveland Browns. They've had a statue back there at quarterback. He's older than Father Time himself. Now they have an opportunity to move the pocket, utilize his legs and his athletic ability, similar to they did with Jackson Dart with the Giants. I see the Cleveland Browns having success this week across the pond.
Well, they had the most interesting day in the NFL yesterday for sure. Dylan Gabriel gets the start, replacing Joe Flacco. Shedeur Sanders does not. You may have seen this already. In case you haven't, we'll play it. Shedeur Sanders was asked about Gabriel getting the starter's job, and as you hear his response here, or don't hear it, I can tell you there's nothing wrong with your television's audio or anything like that. This